Back for pack number 3. There's a foil quarantine field in this pack, which is unfortunate because it's probably like the second or third best card in the entire set, and it's not really castable in our deck at the moment. There's also an Oran Reef Hydra, which is pretty good. Spawning Bed, which is pretty good in our deck. Evolving Wilds, which is, like I said, pretty desirable for us right now. I'm very tempted to take this Quarantine Field and try to make the mana work. We're already considering splashing for the Sheer Drop. Oops, and it's such a strong card that it's well worth casting, even if we can't cast it until like turn 7 or 8. If we play like, I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 planes, and get a couple more mana fixers to make it work. So bring the Sheer Drop back in. And I mean, Quarantine Field is like easily the best card in our pool now, so it's well worth taking here. See, and now I could take this Bone Splinters, but I'm going to take this Evolving Wilds instead. It's just very good right now that we have this insane card to splash. We want to make sure our mana is going to work. Yeah, it's basically just those two in consideration. I think it's pretty easy Evolving Wilds now. Not a ton that's exciting. Defiant Bloodlord is just very mediocre. It's only even acceptable in the black-white life gain deck. It's clearly not for us. Culling Drone is just a mediocre bear. I'm not really excited about it. I think I'm just going to take Fertile Thicket. Just make sure we hit our land drops. It can even find us our plains so we can splash white. Seems pretty good to me. So let's see. Probably not playing Void Attendant or Swarm Surge at this point. Bring all these in so I can see them. Ooh, Blighted Woodland. That's pretty attractive because it can, by itself, it can fix us double white. So I think I want to take that here. There's also a Natural Connection, which is just worse, I think. Takes up a slot, our 3-drop slot that's already pretty crowded. Nothing else really on my radar. Loyandar we're not going to play on the double splash. It's just not going to happen. Eldrazi Devastator, maybe I put it in my deck, but probably not. It's 17 playables right now, so only need to find a few more. And I'm hoping it's cards that go well with all our Scion tokens, so like more Rot Shamblers or a Cutthroat, like I said. Yeah, I like where we're at right now. The deck got a lot better with this insane bomb. Even though it is going to be hard to cast, it just means we're going to win the game if we ever get to double white. It shouldn't be too hard to find now that we're prioritizing fixing. Gruesome Slaughter, you say? Can we play that? The only colorless guys we have are the Scion Makers, so it doesn't actually seem that insane. Whereas Complete Disregard is exactly the kind of card I want. Good, cheap removal. And yeah, there's nothing else really on my radar. Mire's Malice is pretty good. I think I would probably play it in the main deck of this deck, just because it's something we can do late with all of our extra mana. But yeah, pretty easy removal spell here. Now our removal's great, because we're splashing these 2 great white removal spells as well. Not sure if I'm going to play 17 or 18 land. I might not even play both of these Call the Scions, depending on how things go. Just play an 18th land instead. Not have a million things to do on turn 3. Rune Processor's pretty good. Might just take it here. There's also an Eyeless Watcher, but it's only marginally better than Call the Scions, which I'm not even sure is going to be that good in my deck yet. Blighted Step probably wouldn't play it anyway. Yeah, I'll just take Rune Processor so we know we've got our late game completely sewed up, so I'm not too worried about having too many scions and not enough to do with it. I think we should have enough enablers for exile. We've got Oblivion Sower, Aggression, Complete Disregard. I guess that's it for the moment. There's a Rot Shambler. Looks like a pretty easy pick to me with all of our spawns. Yep. Makes my Call to Scions better, so I don't have to cut those anymore. Anything else in my sideboard I'm interested in? Not really. I'm not going to splash Ghostly Sentinel, even though it is technically a splashable card. So let's pull out our removal and see what our creature curve looks like. Guess that's not removal. Yeah, so we just need to get a few more creatures to make sure our early game is all intact, because we've got the late game sewn up rather nicely now. Drama's Emissary is pretty good. Don't think I would splash it though. There's nothing else I really care about, so it's an option, I suppose. So now we've seen the entire pack, so it doesn't look like we're getting any more Blister Pods or Carrier Thralls, which is too bad. Wouldn't mind just having like a random bear, like a Culling Drone or whatever, just to have something get down on turn 2 and block. Spawning Bed. There's also a Norcana Assassin, which can just come down and be a decent blocker, and it goes pretty well with our Unnatural Aggression, because it can fight 2/2s. Yeah, normally Spawning Bed would be an easy pick right now, but I'm not sure. We're kind of lacking in the beef department, so rough pick, but I think I have to make it. Because the one way we're going to lose is just getting run over by a quick start. I feel like once we get up to 6-7 mana, we'll be good to go anyway. Also don't really want to play Voracious Knoll right now. I wish we had more Blister Pods and Carrier Thralls, but we didn't get them, so... Wow, another late Unnatural Aggression. I guess I'm taking it, even though it might not be at its best in our deck. If we can ever get our Rot Shamblers up big enough, it's going to be great, though. Eldrazi Devastator I'm not going to play, but I guess in a very slow matchup we could consider it. It's probably just going to be our deck. Ooh, a Natural Connection might play. Still don't want to play this Voracious Knoll, especially considering that we ended up short on good creatures to sack. I'm going to move that to the sideboard. Leaves us with, wow, Gruesome Slaughter Wield, that's insane. But I mean, Grapewirthing is perfect for our deck, actually. So this is 23. I could play 17 land. It's not unreasonable. We do want to hit all of our land drops, but we also have lots of ways to ramp with our Scions. We have a Fertile Thicket to find us more lands, the Blighted Land, and the Natural Connections. So yeah, let's pause it for a moment and come back for deck building. So here's the 23 cards that I've got laid out, but there's a few problems. This Altar's Reap I was looking at, I don't think it's actually very good in our deck, just because we didn't end up with enough good things to sacrifice. It's basically only these two. It's fine with a Scion token, but not really what we want to be. So I think I'm going to cut it. This is a 22. Oh, what happened there? Alright. So, yeah, a lot of 3-drops, which is interesting. I'm also not sure, is 22 land plus all this ramp could be excessive. But we also want to hit all our land drops, because really the only strength of our deck is the late game. Could Void Attendant actually be good in our deck now? Oh, I thought it was a 2-2 for some reason. As a 2-3 it's totally worth it. Definitely better than Arcana Assassin. Yeah, it goes fine with our Unnatural Aggressions. I totally thought it was a 2-2, which would probably not be good enough, but as is, it's fine. Now we have more ways to exile, so it seems like it'll be good. And the Gravebreaking. So I think this is what I'm going to play. 18 land, a lot of stuff to do with our mana. Let's see, anything else I want to play? Voracious Knoll, no. Not going to double splash anything. I'm not going to splash Drana's Emissary, although that is tempting. Could see playing Eldrazi Devastator, but I think 3 Eldrazi is the max. Even though we are going to have tons of mana, we don't want to have them clogging up our hand. So yeah, this is what I'm going to go with. Let's bring these in. Gotta figure out how many planes I want to play. 3 sounds close to where I want to be. 4 swamps doesn't seem like enough. So let's see what this does. We do want green early. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actual sources of green, plus Evolving Wilds can get us green. We don't ever need double green, which is nice. We do need double white and double black though. Black, 6 sources, but we can find black with Natural Connection, Evolving Wilds, that sort of thing. And Ruinous Path is fine in the late game, so I think this is probably the mana base I want to go with. 3 planes seems like about where we want to be. We can cast Sheer Drop pretty much whenever we want to. Then hopefully by like turn 7 or 8 we can get a Quarantine Field down, and that'll be pretty insane. So yeah, this is what I'm going to go with. Let's try to 3-0.